China has unveiled its latest naval achievement, the Type 55 Renhai-class cruiser. This is no ordinary vessel. It's a 13,000-ton guided missile destroyer armed to the teeth with 112 vertical launching system missile tubes. Its floating arsenal can simultaneously launch surface-to-air, anti-ship, and land attack cruise missiles. This cruiser doesn't just challenge the status quo. It directly rivals the U.S. Navy's Ticonderoga-class cruiser, a mainstay of American naval dominance. With a lethal 130mm main gun and a 30mm CIWS system designed to swat low-flying aircraft and missiles out of the sky, the Renhai is more than just a ship. It's a statement of intent. As if its mere existence wasn't enough to send ripples across the Pacific, the Renhai-class cruiser is part of China's broader strategy to assert its naval dominance locally and globally. With 8 of these cruisers already commissioned, and plans for at least 25 more by the end of the decade, Taiwan faces the growing shadow of China's military ambitions. China is gearing up for something big. China's People's Liberation Army Navy has drastically increased both in size and firepower during the last decade, leading to a new era of economic, political, and military tensions between the United States, its Pacific allies, such as Japan, South Korea, the Philippines, New Zealand, and Australia, and several NATO partners. With the ongoing conflict currently being waged in Eastern Europe between the Ukrainian army and the Russian armed forces since February 2022, China has been testing the waters in the South China Sea to analyze how feasible it is for the country to invade Taiwan, as Russia has done with Crimea. Although some military analysts have pointed out that China would not dare to do so until late 2027, when its Army, Navy, and Air Force have more modern equipment and training. The Navy, or PLAN, has been eagerly conducting maritime operations in the South China Sea against Taiwan and Japan, seeking to provoke the U.S. allies with unjustified displays of force. From guided missile tests to blatant invasions of national waters defined by national treaties, the Chinese PLAN has turned increasingly aggressive in the past months, especially after the leaks and announcements of the latest warship developed by China, the PLAN Type 55 Renhai-class guided missile cruiser. The development of this state-of-the-art vessel represents the culmination of China's aim to build powerful, long-range surface combat vessels that can increase the PLAN's military presence in the entire region, projecting naval power and escorting their growing fleet of aircraft carriers. Although the PLAN threats are direct, their government will not provoke a war. For the combined numbers and firepower of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and the Philippines are more than enough to keep the Asian country at bay. Nevertheless, the announcement of the Type 55 Renhai-class guided missile cruiser has prepared the U.S. and its allies for a possible upcoming conflict that could unfold sooner or later as the next decade approaches over the horizons of the South China Sea. Following the Sino-Soviet split of the late 1960s, China's Communist Navy sought a large destroyer to complement its naval fleet. Requirements were issued for procuring such vessels, culminating in Program 55 in the early 1970s. After almost a decade of intensive research, the program's development was canceled in the 1980s due to China's industrial and technological underdevelopment. Still, the PLAN kept working on other designs, and it wasn't until the turn of the new century that details came to light on Type 55's superstructure. The vehicle was spotted at the Chinese Naval Electronic Testing Range in Wuhan in 2014. Months later, construction of Nanchang, the first ship of the class, began at the Xiangnan shipyard in Shanghai. The new Type 55 guided missile destroyer ship was shown to the public for the first time during the 70th anniversary parade of the People's Liberation Army Navy on April 23, 2019. Over 30 Chinese and 20 foreign ships from allied nations participated in the naval parade in the western port of Qingdao to commemorate the creation of the Chinese Navy in 1949. The parade consisted of 6 formations that showcased the latest naval engineering achievements of the Chinese Navy. President Xi Jinping and other high-profile personnel oversaw the parade aboard the Type 52D destroyer Shining. Besides the revamped Type 94 Shin-class nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, the parade's most notable ship was the Type 55 guided missile destroyer class Nanchang. As part of the celebrations, The PLAN noted it planned to procure between 8 and 10 guided missile destroyers of the class over the next 5 years. However, some Western analysts speculated the number could rise to 20 Type 55s by the late 2020s. The official unveiling of the PLAN Type 55 led the U.S. Department of Defense to classify it as a cruiser instead of a destroyer due to its size and tonnage, although the distinction can be blurred. The Type 55 Renhai is over 590 feet long. It displaces between 10,000 and 13,000 tons, over 81 feet longer and 2,500 tons heavier than the U.S. Navy's Flight 2A Arleigh-Burke-class guided missile destroyer. In addition, the Type 55 is about a third bigger than its predecessor, the Type 52D Liang III-class guided missile destroyer. Between 2017 and 2020, the PLAN's plan quickly advanced with the simultaneous development of 7 other Type 55 cruisers built at the shipyards at Xiangnan and Dalian. 2 years later, 6 out of 8 were finished and commissioned: Lhasa, Nanchang, Dalian, Anshan, Wuxi, Xianyang, Yan'an, and an unnamed vessel. The Type 55 Renhai is armed with 112 Universal Vertical Launch System missile tubes, or VLS, comprising 64 launchers located forward, accommodated in an 8x8 configuration, and 48 other launchers located aft in a 6x8 configuration. Compared to U.S. Navy ships, the Ticonderoga-class cruiser packs 128 vertical launch cells. At the same time, the Arleigh-Burke-class comes up short with 96 missile tubes. Renhai's vertical launch systems can fire medium to long-range surface-to-air or SAM HHQ-9B missiles with ranges that exceed 100 nautical miles, YJ-18 anti-ship cruise missiles with a range of 290 nautical miles, and CJ-10 land attack cruise missiles, among others. The Type 55 can reportedly accommodate anti-submarine missiles and anti-ship ballistic missiles. However, this information has not been entirely verified by Western analysts. Additional armament comprises an HPJ-38 130mm main gun and an HPJ-11 30mm close-in weapon system, or CIWS, mounted forward of the bridge. In the near future, upgraded variants of the Renhai may incorporate a railgun. All this impressive armament turns the Type 55 Renhai into a surface combatant that can fend off any hostile enemy boats, low-flying aircraft, and more importantly, sea-skimming missiles. The Type 55 Renhai is spacious enough to carry 2 Z-18 anti-submarine warfare or Harbin Z-9 helicopters in its aircraft hangar to increase the ship's combat capabilities and long-range operations with carrier strike groups. Both helicopters are based on the Eurocopter AS-365 and the American Sikorsky SH-60 Seahawk. Little is known about the Type 55 Renhai's power plant due to Chinese secrecy around its latest vessels. Nonetheless, it's rumored it features integrated electronic power plants or fully electric propulsion, a remarkable achievement for Chinese vessels. With integrated electronic power plants, the ship's turbines provide electricity to drive the electric motors that turn the vessel's screws. The innovative system is an improved modification of the combined diesel-electric and gas propulsion system employed by other ships worldwide. Some U.S. intelligence officials have noted that the Type 55 may be powered by 28 MWQC-280 gas turbines, with additional power provided by 6 5NWQD-50 gas turbines, allowing the Renhai to reach a top speed of around 30 knots. China's latest destroyer is also equipped with a dual-band radar system, similar to the one employed by the U.S. Navy's DDG-1000 Zumwalt-class vessels. This system comprises 2 sets of active phase radars, the large S-band arrays mounted on the ship's superstructure and the smaller X-band arrays placed in the Renhai sensor mast. The X-band tracks small, stealthy, and high-speed objects at closer ranges, while the larger S-band system is used for long-range tracking. The Type 55 is the only type of ship in China's Navy that employs the 2 sensor arrays. The commissioning of the Type 55 Renhai demonstrates China's commitment to providing an escort for its carrier battle groups, like its American counterpart, the Ticonderoga-class cruiser. China has built 8 Type 55s, raising concerns among the United States and its allies. If the development trend continues, the objective of 25 Renhais by decade's end may come true. The cruiser demonstrates how far China has come to reach a certain parity with American naval might in the Pacific and assert its dominance in the South China Sea. All this major naval power projection proves what the intelligence community has been stating for the past years. China is preparing for a major conflict in Asia. China's aggressive strategies, from Taiwan to India and Japan, may alter geopolitical tensions in the South and East China Seas, the Taiwan Strait, and the Indian Ocean.